Amidst the nationwide protests against CA and NRC, the government has made a big declaration in the parliament. In a response in Lok Sabha, the Home Ministry has said that there is no decision on nationwide NRC and that there are no plans to implement National Register of Citizens just as yet. The MHA has also said that no questions arise on whether a timeline has been fixed up for the implementation of the NRC and if it would put extra burden on the citizens. TRS MP Nageshwar Rao and LJP MP Chandan Singh questioned MHA on whether the government is aware that NRC would put extra burden on citizens and whether the state governments have been taken into confidence over the NRC or not. My colleague Akshita Nandgopal explains the MHA letter on NRC. Here's a look.
This is what the government has put out on record here. 5 questions that have been asked really, and you've got the question being asked to the Ministry of Home Affairs here. And from A to E, let's just break down exactly what are the questions that have been posed to the government. The first is as direct as it gets. It says whether the government has any plan to introduce NRC all over the country. The second to the 5th question are almost follow-up questions where they're asking about the reasons along with, the timeline that's been fixed for NRC. There's a 3rd question about whether it talks about the extra burden on citizens, if the government is aware about that. The 4th question is about whether the state governments are being taken into confidentiality on the introduction of NRC. And the 5th question finally is whether the government has received any communication from states on their refusal to implement the NRC. So 5 questions that have been asked, and you've got the response that's coming from Nityanand Rai, which is essentially the Ministry of Home Affairs. This is the answer that's come from the MHA here. To the first question is the answer that the MHA has given, saying till now the government has not taken any decision to prepare the National Register of Citizens, particularly on the national level. This is the answer that's come in from the MHA so far. With regards to the other 4 questions which I read out earlier, which were follow-up questions about the timeline and the reasons for NRC, to all of these questions the government has said that the question does not arise simply because the government has not taken any decision to prepare the NRC at a national level.
Anand Patel now joins us live. Anand, this is a big declaration, one has to admit, because all this while you had Amit Shah going on and stressing about the fact as to how the NRC will get implemented and setting up deadlines for it as well. And now going on to say no nationwide NRC just as yet, and that decision has not been taken. It's huge.
Well, ideally, this question and answer should have been, on record, on video, live in the Lok Sabha. But due to the entire controversy which broke out and the opposition slogan shouting, this was deemed to be read. And the answer is very clear, crystal clear from MoS Home Nityanand Rai that there is no such plan to conduct a nationwide NRC. This was in response to the question asked by Chandan Singh, the LJP MP from Bihar, and another MP from TDP, Nageshwar Rao. So clearly, the government has tried to come clean on this. Ideally, it should have been coming from someone like Amit Shah himself, but that has not been done. But yes, at least MoS Home has come on record and placed it on the floor of the House that the government is very clear that it's not going to conduct an all India NRC. This comes after Prime Minister's remarks in Ram Leela Maidan last year. On December 22nd, and he had clearly said that there is no talk of an NRC in the government, and whatever is being propagated is all false, is all lie by the opposition parties. But the opposition parties have been making it very clear that NRC-NPR are being followed up by CAA, and this is what is reflected in the MHA document, MHA annual report of 2018-19, and also they've cited 2014 remarks of the then MoS Home Kiran Rijiju in Lok Sabha, where he had talked about NRC. So there are questions which are being raised by the opposition time and again, and it will be better if somebody of the stature of Prime Minister or Amit Shah himself come up with a reply and assure the country and the opposition that the government is not going to do a nationwide NRC. Perhaps then only all these protests will die down.
All right, leave it at that. Thanks much, Anand, for joining us with those details. Remember now, these flip-flops are not new. On 10 December 2019, in the Lok Sabha, Home Minister Amit Shah said that NRC will be implemented across the nation soon. And just about a few days later, on December 22nd, 2019, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that there has been no discussion on the nationwide NRC. Listen in to this flip-flop.
कि एनआरसी और इसको जोड़ने की जरूरत नहीं है, एनआरसी करेंगे तब स्पष्टता के साथ इसी प्रकार से इसी सदन में एक भी शब्द छोड़े बगैर मैं सबको इसकी भी जानकारी दूंगा। इसमें मुझे कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, मगर मानकर चलिए एनआरसी आने वाला है। एनआरसी बस
कहीं पर भी एनआरसी शब्द पर कोई चर्चा नहीं हुई है, कोई बात नहीं हुई है। सिर्फ सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब कहा तो सिर्फ आसाम के लिए करना पड़ा।